My name is Brian Rubin.
And I'm Adam Pollet.
And today we'll be talking about SEC enforcement initiatives in 2020. We'll be specifically focusing on four subjects. First, cash sweep arrangements. During the past couple of years, the SEC has brought over 100 enforcement actions related to revenue sharing and conflict issues in connection with 12b-1 fees and mutual fund share classes. Now, a lot of folks have thought that the SEC was involved in rulemaking by enforcement because this was an industry-wide issue and because SEC examiners previously looked at these issues but didn't tell firms that they had concerns. The SEC is now focused on cash sweep programs whereby clients have uninvested cash which either goes into bank programs or money market funds. And the SEC's concern is that the firms are earning revenue from these investments and may not be adequately disclosing the issue. And the other issue that the SEC appears to be concerned about is that there is so-called double dipping, in that the firms are earning fees on the overall assets in addition to these revenue sharing arrangements.
Brian, has FINRA expressed any concern on this issue?
Yes, in fact, FINRA just announced that they have concerns about the issue, and it came out in their priorities letter, which they just published. The SEC has sent out probably over a dozen letters to firms in December and in January dealing with this issue. So the SEC and FINRA added together means that a lot of firms will be examined and investigated on the issue. A related issue that Adam's going to talk about deals with reverse churning.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. Over the past few years, we've seen enforcement activity relating to reverse churning. Now, reverse churning is when a fee-based advisory account goes an extended period of time without any trading. The regulators' concern with this is that the advisor is earning fees without actively managing the account, and questions whether a commission-based brokerage account would be more suitable. So, for example, this past year, the SEC brought an action against a firm for failing to provide promised reviews of advisory accounts that had not had trading for at least a year to determine whether those accounts were still suitable for their clients. The firm determined that at least some of those accounts were not, in fact, suitable. As a result, the SEC required the firm to pay back the advisory fees earned during that period of inactivity. And we anticipate in 2020 continuing to see the SEC focused on reverse churning.
The SEC also will be focused on 403B and 457 retirement plans. Ever since Jay Clayton became chairman, he's been talking about protecting Main Street investors. In the small town in New Jersey where I grew up, a few blocks from Main Street was actually our high school. And more recently, Chairman Clayton has been giving speeches talking about protecting school teachers, and in particular focusing on 403B and 457 plans. In December and in January, the SEC sent a number of request items to firms in this marketplace. Although we're not familiar with any abuses here, the SEC's concerns appear to be why and how the firms were retained and whether teachers are investing in the most appropriate products.
And finally, the highly anticipated regulation best interest that provides new rules and forms for broker-dealers and investment advisors to provide their clients goes into effect on June 30th of this year. SEC Chairman Clayton has warned firms there will be no grace period and that the SEC expects firms to be compliant on day one. But the staff has also said that it's not looking to entrap firms, but rather looking for good faith efforts to comply.
Adam, is FINRA also going to be playing a role here?
Yes, Brian. Both FINRA and the SEC will likely be making random visits to firms the moment this rule goes into effect. And as usual, while the examiners will be on the ground first, firms should expect referrals to enforcement for noncompliance.
So as you can see, it's going to be a very busy year for SEC enforcement this year.
Thank you for joining us. For more information on the SEC's enforcement program in 2020 and other bottom line videos, please access eversheds-sutherland.com.